In a sun-drenched village nestled among rolling hills, a little girl named Elara sat with wide, curious eyes, listening to a man named Jesus. He spoke of faith not as a grand, unattainable thing, but as something as small and simple as a mustard seed. He said that with faith, just that tiny, you could move mountains. Elara clutched a tiny mustard seed in her palm, its smallness a stark contrast to the enormous worry in her heart. Her mother was sick, a deep cough shaking her small frame, and the village healer had run out of remedies. That night, clutching the seed, Elara knelt by her bed. She didn't have big, fancy words. She just whispered, "Jesus, you said faith like this tiny seed is enough. Please, make my mama well." She did this every night. Her prayer was a quiet, steady hum in the house, a secret between her, God, and the little seed. Days turned into a week. Elara's mother's cough seemed a little less harsh. She could sit up for a bit longer, a hint of color returning to her cheeks. Elara's father, a man of few words and even less faith, noticed the change. He saw his daughter's nightly ritual, her unwavering belief. He didn't understand it, but he couldn't deny what he was seeing. One evening, he quietly knelt beside her, his rough hand gently resting on her small shoulder. He didn't know what to say, so he just listened to her simple, heartfelt prayer. Soon, their next-door neighbor, an old baker who had been struggling with his own aches and pains, saw the light in the mother's eyes. "What magic is this?" he asked. Laura simply showed him her mustard seed. "It's not magic," she said. "It's faith." That evening, the baker found his own seed and whispered his own prayer. Word began to travel through the village like a gentle breeze. The story wasn't about a dramatic, earth-shattering miracle, but about a quiet, persistent hope that started with a little girl. People saw Elara's mother walking in her garden again, her laughter ringing out like a long-forgotten melody. They saw Elara's father, once a cynic, now smiling with a new-found peace. The villagers started talking, not just about the mother's recovery, but about the feeling that had settled over their community. It was a feeling of hope. It's the farmer whose crops were failing, the weaver whose hands had grown stiff, the young couple who longed for a child. They all saw Elara and her mustard seed. They saw that faith didn't require loud declarations or grand gestures. It just required a sincere heart, willing to believe. One by one, they began to pray. Their prayers were like Elara's, simple, honest, and filled with a hope they hadn't felt in years. The village, once muted by its collective worries, began to come alive. People helped each other more. They shared their bread, mended each other's fences, and most importantly, they shared their hope. Elara's mother made a full recovery. But the real miracle wasn't just her healing. It was the transformation of an entire village. It started with a teaching about a tiny seed, took root in the heart of a little girl, and blossomed into a forest of faith that changed everyone. It showed them that the most powerful forces in the world often begin with the smallest and most sincere acts of belief. And in that village, no one ever looked at a mustard seed the same way again. They saw it for what it was, a tiny, powerful promise of what faith can do. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing for more.